PocaSPEAKS. This shit is not easy, but it's worth it. PocaSPEAKS. This shit is not easy, but it's worth it. It's all about community. Spirituality is important. PocaSPEAKS.
Hey y'all, come on in.
This shit is not easy, but it's worth it.
Hello, beautiful people.
This shit is not easy.
Happy Thursday.
But it's worth it.
Y'all come on in. We're about to get started. Got a really good topic today. One that I think a lot of people need.
Spirituality is important.
So we about to tap on in. Yes, you are right on time, girl.
PocaSPEAKS.
We about to get it done. Hello, beautiful people.
This shit is not easy, but it's worth it.
All right. So let's go ahead and get into this topic. All right. So again, happy Thursday to everybody. I hope that everyone is is having a great day and your day is going well. Hey, Miss Aline. I hope I'm saying your name right. One of our members here on YouTube. Again, memberships are available on YouTube. So shouts out to all of those who have been picking up memberships on YouTube. I'm so very appreciative. Shout out to everyone who has been subscribing, watching videos, liking, sharing, commenting. I appreciate all of you all. This platform would not be possible without you guys supporting and being a part of this community. So much thanks to all of you guys for, supporting, for watching, for viewing, for sharing, for commenting, for liking, for anything. Okay, even if you just looking, thank you for looking. Even if you just here to hate, thank you for hating. We need y'all too. So that's that on that. So let's get into my little things that I have to say, and then we're going to get into the topic. Again, thank you for watching. If you're tuning in from YouTube, definitely make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Turn notifications on so you know anytime I go live. If you're watching from Facebook, definitely make sure you send a reaction and share this video with any people or groups that you feel like can use these messages or this information. Today, we are talking about soul ties and trauma bonds. I feel like this situation is or this topic is so prevalent in a lot of our lives. Shout out to you. Yeah, TikTok. Y'all know with TikTok, I haven't been live on TikTok because they banned the girl off of TikTok live. And I really don't care because they wasn't letting me say what I had to say anyway. So fuck them. But thank you for coming over here and, joining this side of things. Much appreciated. But yeah, so soul ties, trauma bonds. We don't really know these words. There's a lot of words that we kind of find out the more we get into our spiritual journey, the more we get into spirituality, period. A lot of these things we are unfamiliar with. A lot of these things are not really regularly talked about until we kind of get into this space. And then we start hearing these terms: soul ties, trauma bonds, twin flame, all of these different things. Now, I'm not going to talk about twin flames because y'all take that shit and run with it. Not going to do that. I try to keep y'all as focused as possible. And I know that y'all can't focus when it comes to love. Y'all be all over the place. But we're going to talk about these soul ties and we're going to talk about these trauma bonds because these are relationships that can sometimes, affect us negatively. Okay. These are, people who we may not be connected with because they're for us, but more so connected with because of a trauma that we've experienced or a particular bond that we have formed with this person, okay, outside of, physicality or even with physicality. So I'm going to get into trauma bonds first because soul ties is a little bit more complex, and it's going to take me a little bit more time to get through that. So I want to start with trauma bonds and kind of explain what a trauma bond even is, and then how to start identifying the trauma bonds in your life, okay? So number one, what is a trauma bond? A trauma bond is literally that, right? A bond that you create through trauma, right? This could be a friendship, this can be a relationship, right? This whole podcast, I'm not going to necessarily be only talking about relationship. A lot of time when y'all hear these two words, trauma bond or soul tie, you automatically jump to somebody you was in relationship with romantically, and it is not always that, which is why sometimes y'all miss the real issues and problems that you're actually facing with the people in your life, because you're looking for these things to show up in a relationship standpoint, which it can a lot of the time, but it's not just that, right? It is not just confined to relationship bonds or romantic relationship bonds, okay? So a trauma bond is any relationship, okay? Friendship, family relationship, co-worker relationship, I don't care. You can trauma bond to anybody, anything, anywhere, okay? It does not matter, all right? Again, it is not just romantic, okay? Now, again, creating a trauma bond, I always tell you guys, we attract who we are. A lot of y'all don't like to listen to that, because if you was to listen to that, you will realize that the fucked up people that you complain about in your life, you attracted them. And who wants to look themselves in the mirror and be like, yeah, it's your fault that you got this fuck nigga or this whack ass female in your life? Don't nobody want to keep looking at themselves and having to admit that. But that's how we grow. That's how we heal, when we first acknowledge the problem. Okay. So a lot of you guys, are not really open to figuring out who or what you may be connected to through trauma, because a lot of times you don't even know that you have been connected to that person through trauma. You're not even looking at that person as an option or a target or issue or problem or any of that, right? But we attract who we are. That's just how energy works, right? Like attracts like, and sometimes opposite attracts opposite, but either way, we are attracting parts of us through other people, right? So for example, I've been in situations where I would complain about people in my life, whether they were fake, whether they were phony, whether they was this, whether they was that. And it wasn't until I started healing that I seen in some ways how I can act the same way, or in some ways how I can present the same type of energy, right? So everyone in your life is a reflection of you in some capacity. And until you understand that, you're never going to address the problem or never be able to properly identify where the problem is coming from. Okay? Everything in your life reflects who you are. So if you got somebody in your life who is abusive, in some type of way, you're abusive, whether that's abusive to yourself or others. If you got somebody in your life who fake, in some type of way, you fake, whether you fake to yourself or others. If you got somebody in your life that's always lying, some type of way you lying, whether it's to yourself or others. Okay. And that's just one part of shadow work and spirituality that a lot of people don't like, because it's accountability. And y'all hate for it to be your fault. It's easy to blame other people. It's easy to point that finger at other people, but it's hard to acknowledge yourself and your own wrongs, or why, you being the reason of why you are where you are. Just that simple. Okay. So everyone in your life reflects a piece of you, a part of you. It may not be everything that they do, right? But something that they do, usually the thing that you don't like them for. I wish I had my bell. Okay. Usually the thing that you don't like people for is a resemblance and a direct reflection of something you probably do the most. It usually happens that way. Why? Because we can see things outside of ourselves a lot more clearly than we can see things inside of ourselves. So we can always pick up on problems and issues and characteristics and things about other people that we don't like, or that, we're not the biggest fan of. But we never take time to be like, okay, how could I have even attracted a person like that? How can I have even been so blinded to the red flags that this is a person that acts this way or has this type of energy? At some point, it's your fault. Okay? So trauma bonds are usually created when we, again, attract someone to us and they share a similar trauma, or the trauma is within the same category, or we're both just traumatized, period. Okay, we both have deep rooted traumas, and maybe our behavioral issues are similar because of our traumas. Maybe we kind of both got anger issues, so we got cool. Or maybe both of our daddies wasn't shit, so we got cool. Or maybe, my mama don't like me and your mama don't like you, so we cool. Or, in my time of need, when I was going through with my family, I found you and you was going through with your family, so we became cool. Okay, again, this can happen on a romantic level, this can just happen on a friendship level, right? You can create a trauma bond with your coworker. You come to work and you're like, damn, my baby daddy get on my nerves. Girl, my baby daddy get on my nerves too. Boom. Now y'all friends. Now y'all cool because you connected through a trauma, but you're not really supposed to be around each other because it's not helpful or conducive for either one of y'all to be around each other, right? It's just fire on fire. Don't make no fucking sense. Okay? So a lot of the times we can tell who we are trauma bonded with because there is never any long-term relationship or experience with this person where there has not been any issues, period. Now, of course, every relationship, whether it's romantic or not, you're going to have certain, things that occur, but not to the degree of when you are trauma bonded with somebody. When you're trauma bonded with somebody, no matter what y'all try to do, it's never going to work. And life shows you this every fucking time. You get around this person, y'all argue, or you get around this person and things just eventually go haywire. Now, trauma bonds usually always start off really good because however you connect to this person, you know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all be like, oh, I feel like I've known you forever. Oh, we have so much in common. And the whole time, nothing y'all got in common is trauma. Right? So what is one way that I can identify if I have trauma bonds? The only thing I have in connection with this person is trauma. There's nothing else. We don't have no good memories to talk about that we have in connection with each other. That's it. The only thing that ties me to you is that both our mothers was crackheads. The only thing that ties me to you, the only thing that we relate on is that we both got anger issues, or we both got daddy issues, or we both got problems, or we both got whatever going on. That's it, right? We don't talk about nothing else. We don't, we haven't connected on nothing. We not friends because we both spiritual. You know what I'm saying? We friends because we both had fucked up families. That's just that on that. So that's one red flag of how to tell, okay, am I connected to someone who is, through a trauma? If the only thing that connects us is trauma, then that's a trauma bond. Okay? And I'm not talking about superficial things like we both like to get our nails done, we both like to get our hair done. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about real life connections. Okay, we both are connected because we both want more for ourselves, or we both are connected because we both want, to be doctors or lawyers. Those are positive connections. But when you look at a relationship and all you see is we're connected because we both have this particular issue or because of this shared negative experience, that's a trauma bond. Okay, that's a trauma bond. And some of y'all are bonded to people through trauma, and you want to hang on to these people because you may have been around these people for a long time. Okay, some of y'all longest friendships, or what you think is a long friendship, is really a trauma bond. And you trauma bond with people, it could be very early. So we talking about elementary school, middle school, high school. I'm not talking about once you turn 20 and you grown enough to know right from wrong. No, baby. Trauma bonds start very, very early. If you think about it, some of y'all was talking to older people at a young age. You trauma bonded with adults. I know I did. When I was in middle school, I was talking to niggas that was 19, 20. I was barely 14. I was trauma bonded with whole ass adults. Okay, so don't think that it just starts, once you become older and you start putting your life into perspective. No, babe, this shit starts early. So some of y'all people who think, oh, this is my long-term friend, this been my best friend since we was in high school, this been my best friend since we was both in kindergarten, that could be a trauma bond. which is why you always got problems with that one friend, which is why it's always something with that one friend. Period. Because y'all trauma bonded. The only thing y'all have in common is y'all history. Whether it's your history together or it's your history individually, and you came together and you shared your experiences and y'all got cool. No matter at what point in your life this happened, doesn't matter. Okay? So I keep telling y'all, quality over quantity. A lot of y'all hold on to people who are not good for you, or who don't have your highest interest in heart, or who, just don't connect with you on greater levels, because you want to be loyal. You want to say, oh, me and my friend been together for 20 years. Fuck that. Or me and my man been together since we was in high school. Girl, who gives a fuck? Y'all like to put time out there as if time matters. Time don't fucking matter if the shit that was going on during that time was fucked up. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit how long you've known somebody, how long you've been in connection with somebody, if the whole connection has always been fucked up? Baby, we don't care if you've known this person since you popped out your mama's coochie. At the end of the day, if the person's not for you, the person's not for you. If they're not bringing anything good to you and you're not bringing anything good to them, then that's not a relationship, situationship, or connection that you should be in. And that's just that on that. Some of y'all have to get okay. This is why when you come into your spiritual journey, you start losing people. A lot of y'all never understand that. You automatically assume that, oh, am I doing something wrong? I can't tell y'all how many times people come and ask me, whether I'm coaching them, mentoring them, or whether it's just people who want to get information. Why, once I started my journey, I started losing everybody? Because you start healing those traumas that connected you to those people. That's what happens when you are trauma bonded to a motherfucker and you decide to heal that trauma, or they decide to heal that trauma. You lose the connection because that's all you ever had to begin with. Brain fuck. Period. So y'all running around here trying to hold on to shit that you were never supposed to be with to begin with. Relationships included, especially these relationships. Y'all come into spirituality booed up, bayed up, wifed up, husband up. And then you start your journey and it starts showing you that you're not really connected to this motherfucker, that this is really not, you're not really compatible to this person. And instead of you thinking and using that to connect all of the other red flags, because there's always red flags. Y'all like to act like this shit just comes out of nowhere and the universe just decided to wake up one day and mollywop your ass with the facts. No, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, sir. Okay? There's always red flags, but y'all don't like to pay attention to truth because it makes you uncomfortable, or you have to do things that are uncomfortable. When you acknowledge the truth, you got to get up out your comfort zone and you got to move. You got to cut people off. You got to go a different direction. You got to look the other way. And y'all don't want to do that. You want to keep these same motherfuckers around you. Why? Because I know them for a long time. We have kids. I never had a family. And I'm not making fun of you. I'm just that's the excuses y'all make. That's excuses. Instead of saying, if this person's being pulled away from me, it's for a fucking reason. What the hell? Make it make sense. If I'm bettering myself and people start leaving or falling like flies, how do I interpret that as I'm doing something wrong? How does that even come to my head? If I'm bettering myself, if I'm taking the initiative to become a better version of myself, and all these people start leaving, how in my head am I now sitting here thinking, damn, I'm doing something wrong? What the fuck? You got to ask yourself, why am I seeing what's being done correctly? Because if I'm doing something good and these people are leaving and that's correct, why am I seeing this as a negative? That's when you get into the real issues. I have abandonment issues. I don't know how to be by my motherfucking self. I'm scared to be alone. I don't trust motherfuckers. That's when you get into the real shit. A lot of y'all have these motherfuckers around you because it keeps you from doing real work. I don't have to do real work if I got bitches around me who's going to tell me that nothing that I'm doing is wrong. I don't have to do no work. If the nigga I'm with is saying, yeah, that spiritual shit fucked up, and he mad because it's making me look at his motherfucking ass different, and I want to keep getting fucked on. Let's be honest. I want to keep being laid up. I want to keep screaming, my man, my man, my man. I want to keep, trying to put on this motherfucking facade. So I'm going to ignore what spirit is trying to show me in a moment where I'm acting like I want help and want to better myself. I'm going to ignore the lessons and the exposure that is happening, all because I want to keep this whack ass motherfucker around who not supposed to be here in the first place. All because I want people I can go out with. These my party friends. All because I want to be able to say my best friend. Or because I don't got no money and these people help me out. Or I don't got no place to stay and I live with these motherfuckers. Or I feel bad because I know this motherfucker don't got no place to stay. So I'm just dealing with shit. Like it's my motherfucking responsibility to take care of another adult. Whatever your situation may be, it's fucking stupid. Let that shit go. Okay, so the first way to identify if it is a trauma bond or not is to start healing. That's going to show you immediately. The moment you start working on yourself and people start dropping like flies or friction starts to happen in a connection, pay attention. It's not just happening just because it's Tuesday. It's not just happening just because. Okay, that's spirit showing you that you don't need this connection. Especially if you're healing from something. And then now all of a sudden that I healed from this particular thing, all these problems is happening with me and this person. I'm no longer, and it usually comes out of nowhere, or it seems like it's coming out of nowhere. But it's not necessarily that it's coming out of nowhere. It's almost like having on blinders. See, when you're in your trauma, when you're still unhealed, when you are not working on yourself, you might as well have blinders on. You might as well have blinders on because the shit that you need to see, you're not going to see it. And even if you do see it, you're not going to acknowledge it. But when you start healing, see, healing takes the blinders off your eyes. So that energy been there this whole time, but because now you done healed and you are now more aware of your environment, now you see it for what it is. So a lot of y'all be thinking, oh, since I became spiritual, it's like everybody's switching up on me. Ain't nobody switching up on you. Them people been like that. You're just starting to open your motherfucking eyes and see people for who the fuck they is. And you need to take that shit and run with it. Stop being the type of people that ignore what you are seeing clear as day. Because when you get into these situations and you continue relationship with these people and you see your life going down even more, you can't start trying to point the finger at no motherfucking body. Half of y'all will abandon your spiritual journey just to keep these motherfuckers around because you so scared to be by yourself. Or you don't want to take no accountability or responsibility and make something shake. So you keep the same motherfuckers around. You'll abandon bettering yourself. You trust these motherfuckers more than you trust your own intuition. You'll put more work into trying to keep these motherfuckers around and stay in connection with them than you will trying to build a relationship with yourself. And that's a problem. That's a problem. That's why trauma bonds are not healthy for anybody, right? You should never be bonding with anybody over anything negative. If all we have is conversations about what is negative, then baby, we don't need to have no conversations. If we're not talking about how life is good and how we popping and how we plan on moving forward and becoming a better version of ourselves, then we don't need to be in no connection. We need to just go on our separate ways and do our own thing. And of course, it's not going to feel good. See, the thing about spirituality for y'all is y'all think it's supposed to always feel good. Y'all think life is supposed to always feel good. Relationships supposed to always feel good. Everything around you think is supposed to always feel good because you've experienced so much negativity in your life that you feel like that spirituality is going to be the band-aid on top of all of this trauma and you're just going to feel so good. No. That's not how it goes, right? If my life has been negative for so long, that means I got to put in work for it to get positive. It's not, I can't just snap my fingers and everything change around me. And the minute that it's not changing the way I feel like it should, or it's not going as fast as I want it to go, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm just gonna stop healing. I'm just gonna stop working on myself. Some of y'all work on yourselves, then y'all get into a relationship and you stop completely because now your whole goal, your whole mindset is being with this motherfucker. That's weird. And y'all know I'm gonna tell you just like it is, because y'all be around motherfuckers who don't tell you. I don't give a fuck. I'm not screwing you, so I don't got no skin in the game. That shit is weird. If you working on yourself and then you get around motherfuckers and you stop working on yourself, bitch, that's weird. Bro, that's weird. You need to fucking figure it out. If you can't be in a relationship and work on yourself at the same time, then you need to start choosing up. Either you gonna be in this fucky ass relationship and keep creating trauma, or you want to sacrifice a couple of months to years being by your motherfucking self, getting your mind right, so that the next relationship you get into will be one created off of beautiful experiences and not negative ones. Because how you start is how you finish. So if I go into something and we only connect on trauma, then we're only going to experience trauma with each other. There's never going to be room for any other opportunities. Period. That's what y'all need to understand. So you can fake the funk as much as you want to. You can go and be in these relationships and be the Lulu, my man, my man, my man, my woman, as much as you fucking want to, or my friend, however it relates to you. You can do that all you motherfucking want. But understand that the only experiences that you're going to have is traumatic ones. And if you're okay with living that type of life, then live on my brother and my sister. YOLO. If that's how you want to live like that. Period. You either make the sacrifices now so that you can have the reward in the future, or you have your temporary reward, or what you think is a reward now, and then you sacrifice your entire future. It's up to you how you do it. But understand, no matter what happens, it's your fault. You can't blame the finger, point the finger at nobody else. It is on you. It is on you. Okay? That's just that on that. So a lot of you guys, again, starting out with your spiritual journey or just getting more into your shadow work is going to be very important, so that you can see, who am I even supposed to be connected with? Are these people around me actually bringing something valuable to me? Have we connected off of something beautiful? Or do the only thing we share is trauma? Do the only thing we share is negativity? You have to figure that out. And the only way you're going to know is by healing yourself first. Because a lot of us are making decisions from a very unhealed place. And you may feel like you're making a decision in your right mind, of course, because that's your environment. That's the environment you've been in this whole time. I tell y'all all the time, a person who stink to us may not stink to themselves, because they done been around themselves for a long time. So the stink that you picking up ain't the stink that they picking up. They looking at you crazy because you covering your motherfucking nose. They trying to understand what the fuck you smell. They can't tell us them. Why? Because they've been in that toxic environment with themselves for so fucking long that they can't even pick up on their own bullshit no more. And that's how some of y'all are. You done been in toxicity. Toxicity has been your normal environment for a lot of y'all since you were a fucking child. And we talked about toxic parents yesterday. Go back and watch Wisdom Wednesdays for that piece. But because of your environment, you used to motherfuckers cussing you out. You used to drama. That's why a lot of y'all like toxic. You like for you and your nigga to be going back and forth. Some of y'all love to argue. Because that's the only time you ever felt important, is when a nigga was sitting there arguing with your motherfucking ass. Let's talk about it. So you think that's cute. You think it's cute when these niggas threaten y'all motherfucking lives. Oh, my man so crazy. He love me so much, girl. He said he'll fucking kill my ass if I fucked around with him. Oh my God, he's so crazy. Yeah, okay. How many women have we lost in the last, let's just say, 6 months to these crazy and love ass niggas? How many of these women's children have been unalived right beside them because they wanted to be crazy in love with these whack ass niggas? I want to keep my family together. And then the families are broken the fuck apart because one person is in jail and the other person is 6 feet under, never to be seen or heard from again. And everybody think it can't be them because you think that you lucked up. Oh, my nigga not like that. He crazy, but he not that crazy to shoot me. They thought that too. And now where are they? Can they speak for themselves at this point? Absolutely not. Can those innocent babies speak for themselves? Absolutely not. And especially if you got children, I don't care how much this shit stings. See, that's the thing. Y'all want people to come on here. Y'all want to watch all these love readings. That's why I don't do them. I don't do shit that distract y'all. Y'all want these love readings. You want somebody to come tell you that this nigga your twin flame. You want to feel so in love because you ain't never had it. Your childhood was so fucked up that it has your sense of love completely misconstrued. So you think love is a nigga pulling up on you, putting his hands on you, being aggressive with you. That's not fucking love. He got issues too, which is why y'all connected. Trauma bond. Some of y'all dating y'all damn daddies and ain't even picked up on that. I don't care if you gay, bash, straight, crooked, corner. I don't give a fuck. You can date your parents and they can come in the opposite sex or the same sex. It does not fucking matter. Because why? We attract who we are. And until you heal that part of your childhood that got you thinking that this toxic shit is okay, you're going to keep attracting people like your daddy and people like your mama. It's the reason why your mama was a single mother and now you a single mother. It's not just because both of y'all was fucking early. It's because of trauma that has not been addressed, that has not been dealt with, that has been passed along. And you are now living out the trauma that started way before you even got here. Y'all don't like to deal in reality. Y'all want to keep being delusional. And it is so exhausting how popular being delusional has become. Oh, real delulu, yelling out my man. Like y'all seen this shit. Putting yourself in a motherfucking trance. You only want to be around people that make you feel like whatever you doing is okay. That's why y'all don't like to have real people around y'all. Let's talk about it. You don't want nobody around you that's going to check your motherfucking ass. You don't want nobody around you that's going to tell it like it is. That's why y'all cut people off when they start talking negative about the motherfuckers that you think is your friends or you think you supposed to be with. Let's talk about it. Y'all come across content that's calling your motherfucking ass out and you scroll right on past it because you don't want to take no motherfucking accountability. You rather suffer in silence. You rather keep dealing with whatever you dealing with than to look yourself in the mirror and say, I fucked up. So let me get it right. Instead, you rather put your life at risk, the people around you life at risk, your kids' life at risk. And we're not just talking about physically, because everybody is not, going to have a traumatic experience being unalive, just because they fucking with a person. It can't happen, and it's happening, but that's not going to be everybody's experience. Sometimes the trauma is that you passing along to your kids. This is how you settle. And what y'all don't think about is the same way you was 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 in that toxic ass environment with your parents picking up on that bullshit. Now you thinking just like your mama and daddy did. Oh, it's not going to affect them. They don't know what's going on. They're young. They're babies. Oh, my child is only 6. So, they don't know what's going on. They don't know that mommy is sad. Be for fucking real. Be for fucking real. I can remember very vividly my parents getting into it and I was about 3 or 4 years old. Vividly. Come on. So y'all traumatizing your motherfucking kids all because you don't want to step up and make some tough fucking decisions. All because you don't want to be uncomfortable. Now your kids have to reap the shit that you motherfucking sow. The sins of the mother, the sins of the father. That's where they get that shit from. When the parents do not do what they supposed to do to stop from passing shit to their motherfucking kids. So now that child's going to grow up having a false sense of love just like you, having a false sense of relationship just like you, having a warped fucking reality just like you, thinking toxic is normal just like you. And then what? You just going to hope that they get it so that they don't pass along to their kids? Come on now. Be the example. Period. Even if you don't got kids, I don't give a fuck. The message still applies. Period. Okay? Now let's get into soul ties. Now this is the thing about soul ties. All soul ties are not negative. I can't stand when people always want to bring up soul ties and it's always a bad thing. Soul ties are literally what that is. Your soul is tied to another person. Now, is that always bad? Absolutely not. Is that always good? Absolutely not. It depends on who the fuck you tied to. This goes into trauma bonds. That's why I wanted to get trauma bonds done first, because they tie into each other, right? Now, there are 4 different soul ties or categories of soul ties that we recognize at this point, right? The first is the most commonly known, which is a physical soul tie. This is when you actually have a physical relationship with the person and you are tied to them through the physical. So this is sex, this is kissing, this is hugging, this is touching, this is licking, tasting, whatever nasty ass shit you doing, whatever you doing, period, that is in a physical form with the person. Okay. The next one is emotional. So this is being tied to someone emotionally. This is when you get into your trauma bonds. This is when you get into uh 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 just being connected to people through emotion. This is when you get into, oh, but they're always there for me, that type of thing. They always listen to me, when you're emotionally attached to a motherfucker. Okay. Then we have social soul ties, right? These are the soul ties that we create in social spaces. So this is the connection you may have with a coworker or a friend group, right? So your best friends, you can have soul ties with your best friends. This could be family relationships, okay? You can be real cool with a cousin. You and a cousin got a soul tie, or anything like that. Again, soul ties are not just negative and they're not just romantic related, right? You can be soul tied to anything with a fucking soul. A dog, a cat, it don't fucking matter, okay? Especially with emotional, right? Then we have spiritual soul ties. So this is when you are spiritually connected to people. This is when you have, when we get into prior lifetimes. This is when we get into maybe you being connected to a spiritual leader, spiritual advisor. Some of you guys, we may have a spiritual soul tie because we are connected spiritually. Things of that nature. For people who are not spiritual, this is their connection with their pastor or their congregation or their church or whatever. This could also be a connection to like your soul tribe, okay, or your group of friends. You all may connect through spirituality or whatever the case is, okay? So there's different categories of soul ties. Sometimes we can have people in one or the other. Sometimes we can have one person that kind of covers all. It just depends on the relationship that you have, right? Now, like I said in the beginning, all soul ties are not bad, because again, a soul tie is nothing more than you being tied to a specific person, right? Whether it's emotionally, physically, socially, or spiritually, okay? Now, the problem occurs when we are soul tied to people who do not benefit us or who do not operate in our highest good, who do not add any value to us, nor do we add any value to them, okay? This is when we get back into trauma bonds. When that soul tie is formed through a trauma bond, that's when the shit is fucked up. That's when we got to do some work. Right? So this goes back to, as you heal, you'll start to see, okay, I am tied to this person, obviously, because there's always a pulling, right? I keep feeling pulled back, or we keep getting stuck in this motherfucking cycle, or whatever the case is. Okay? So understanding if your soul ties are trauma bonds or not is very important, okay? Because again, it's no problem being tied, emotionally to a person who supports your emotion. There's no problem being, socially tied to a person who, is there for you and you can be there for as well. There's no problem being spiritually tied to someone who, adds value or brings value to you. There's no problem being physically tied to someone as long as that exchange is mutually good for both of you. It's no problem with being tied to people. Some people we will be tied to and have been tied to for lifetimes. We always reconnect with these people every lifetime, and it's always good. So soul ties are not bad unless you tied to the wrong motherfucker. And let's be honest, most of the people that y'all tied to is the wrong motherfucker. That's why you usually hear about negative soul ties so much, because we have started to tie ourselves to people that we shouldn't have been around in the first place. And that's why we run into these issues, and it's kind of like this revolving door of bullshit. Period. Some of y'all soul tied to your baby daddies or your best friends from school or your mamas or your daddy or your cousin or your brother, your sister or your coworkers, your spiritual group or whatever. Okay? And as long as those things are beneficial, then there's nothing wrong with it. But if those things start to become detrimental to you or have always been detrimental to you, then you need to start removing your access. Period. Okay? So how do we start to heal or deal with these soul ties after we have identified that that is what it is? Number one, healing yourself. The answer to everything is to look within. I swear to God. That's why I always go back to shadow work. Everything you can think of goes back to shadow work. If your money fucked up, shadow work. If your friendships fucked up, shadow work. If your job search, career search fucked up, shadow work. If you don't know what your life purpose is, shadow work. If you don't know what you're supposed to be doing with your life, shadow work. Everything goes back to shadow work. Why? Because shadow work, healing, shows us who we are. And until you know who the fuck you are, then you don't know who is supposed to be around you. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing or where you're supposed to be going. Period. For example, if I'm just on a truck that has lights, right? And it does, no one tells me that this is a fucking ambulance, but it's this an emergency around me. And these people see my motherfucking lights, they're gonna come to me and assume I'm motherfucking EMS. I'm here to fucking help. And I'm not. Why? Because I'm unaware that the truck I'm in has fucking lights. So I can't even show up the way I'm supposed to show up because I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing or who I am. Right? If somebody come to me and say, hey, let's go to the grocery store down the street. Okay. And we both get in the car. They didn't tell me which grocery store. They didn't give me a name. They didn't give me a location. They just said the grocery store down the street. So we just gonna be driving around this bitch until we find a grocery store with no direction, no knowledge, no nothing. Just out here driving, right? But if they come to me, get in the car and say, hey, we got to go to the grocery store down the street. We about to go to Target. Target's kind of a grocery store. But anyway, we about to go to Target and I'm going to put it in the GPS. Now I know where I'm going. I have direction because it's been entered into the GPS and I know how fast I can get there. I have all of the details I need for me to have a successful trip to my destination. And that's why shadow work is so important. Y'all like to skip shadow work because you know that shit gonna eat your ass up. Let's talk about it. That's why y'all don't like doing shadow work. Y'all like to act like, oh, I'm just so scared because it's gonna make me have to go over my traumas. Girl, you sit there and think about them traumas 24/7. Be for fucking real. Some of y'all replay that shit in y'all motherfucking head more than motherfucking SpongeBob reruns. I need y'all to be so fucking for real. You not scared of them goddamn traumas. How you scared of something you already made it through? Your childhood trauma can't come back and bite you. It's not the boogeyman sleeping under your fucking bed. You're not 7 no more. So you're not at risk. Let's just be fucking for real. You don't want to change for real. That's the truth. And until y'all acknowledge the truth, you're always going to be living in denial, and everything around you is going to reflect the denial that you're living in. That's what y'all don't get about it. You can be delulu as much as you want, but then your life is going to become real delulu too. So now you delusional with a delusional ass life. You don't know what to believe is real or what to believe is fake, because everything around you is delusional because your motherfucking ass is delusional. So you don't know what's up. You don't know what's fucking down. Y'all don't want to change. You want to still do what you want to do, act the way you want to act, be around the people you want to be around with no responsibility or accountability. You rather stick around bullshit trying to force some bullshit that shows you it's not going to work. You rather try to force that shit to work than to start the fuck over with the guarantee that your life will be different. That's the thing. When you start working on yourself, healing, doing your shadow work, there's a guarantee that your life will change. It's not a possibility. If I'm doing something different, different has to come. That's how life works. That's how this realm works. Whatever you put out is what you get back on all levels. So if I'm putting out different, I have to receive different. The universe has to give me different if I'm being different. Because when I'm different, my reality becomes different. So what I receive, what I see, what I view, how I feel, it all has to change. Because I changed. I create my reality. Period. By my mentality. So the how I view things, how I see things, how I interpret things is how things show up for me. And until y'all understand that the power has always been in your hands and is still in your hand, then you're going to continue to willingly give up your power to be powerless and just allow life to happen to you. Life shouldn't be happening to you. It should be happening for you. I thought you a fucking god. Y'all love to go around here calling yourselves goddesses and empresses and shit like that. But then you hanging around scrubs. What the fuck? Make it make sense. Have you ever seen a queen hang out with a peasant? I just don't understand. Have you ever seen a motherfucking king go out in the common world and fuck with common bitches? No, that don't fucking happen. Real royalty don't never stoop down to the level of the people that they over. That don't make no fucking sense. So how you a queen and an empress and oh, I'm a goddess and my ancestors don't play about me? Girl, you play about yourself. Let's talk. Half of y'all don't even communicate to y'all motherfucking ancestors on a daily enough for them to even give a fuck about you. Let's call a spade a spade. Y'all love to go listen to these fugazi ass spiritual people that's just gonna tell you, oh, I see love coming in 2 weeks. Oh, you and your person are twin flames and y'all are gonna be together forever. Girl, fuck that. Fuck that. Some of y'all don't need to be with nobody, period, right now. And that's why every funky ass relationship that you try fucks up. Every single one. Why? Because you the same. You are the same. So everything you encounter will be the same. If I keep putting in the same ingredients, I'm going to get the same recipe. I don't know what y'all don't understand about that. If I don't change nothing that I do, I'm going to keep receiving what I've always been receiving. Simple math. If I keep doing 1 + 1, it's not going to give me 5 eventually. It's always going to be 2. Simple math. If I keep doing 5 times 6, it's always going to be 11. It's never going to come back to me as 15 or 21. 5 + 6, I meant to say. That's just that. So if I want something different, I got to do something different. If I want a different life, I got to be a different person. And some of y'all are holding on so bad to the person that you are because you are too fucking scared. Let's talk about it. To start over, to live without these people, to do for yourself, to be in your own energy. Or you lazy. You just fucking lazy. Some of y'all just fucking lazy. And your intuition done already told you what you need to do. And it's been real clear. It's been very clear. Y'all intuition, you know what your intuition sound like by now. Be for real. Stop playing games. You know what that motherfucker sound like. You know every time you get around that motherfucker, you start feeling weird and shit start happening. Y'all think you getting butterflies because you in love. No, bitch, that means run. That means fucking run. Get the fuck out of Dodge. Oh, he gives me butterflies. Bitch, run. That's your sacral chakra yelling at your motherfucking ass that this nigga ain't it. Something is going wrong. The same way you get butterflies or your spidey senses get to standing up when danger is around. What the fuck? How do we start equating shit to love? Make it make sense. If you go into a crowd and you start sensing danger, don't your stomach start feeling weird? Don't your anxiety start acting up a little bit? The hairs on your arm and your neck get to raise and you start getting chills, or you just get uncomfortable. The body senses when danger is around, even when it's these niggas that you fucking. Even when it's these whack ass friends that you think is your friends. Or you think that you just thinking that bitch fake just because you fucked up in the head? No, she fake because she fake. What the fuck? Why y'all keep not trusting your motherfucking intuition? Has your intuition ever gave you a reason to think that it's wrong? No. We did another Wisdom Wednesdays 2 weeks ago on intuition. Or last week. Go back and watch that. You have to address the problem for what the fuck it is. No more pretending like shit is not happening. No more sitting around and acting like you don't see it. No more thinking that, oh, if I just keep putting in time and energy into this bullshit, it's finally gonna work. You done been a girlfriend for 14 years and that nigga still don't fuck with you like that. You done been a baby mama for however long you been a baby mama and you still going back and forth with the same motherfucker who was showing you that they don't want to be with you. You done been friends with these motherfuckers for years and y'all still don't even trust each other for real. Let's talk about it. Y'all have gotten way too comfortable being uncomfortable. You should never be comfortable in an environment that is toxic. If you are comfortable in a toxic environment, something is wrong with you. Because like I said, your spidey senses should be fucking tingling. Period. So hopefully y'all got something from this. Again, I definitely wanted to go over this topic because I feel like it is so relevant. As we go into these, quote unquote winter months, this is a time for restoration, rejuvenation, taking time to yourself, for yourself. Definitely go back and watch the Message Mondays. From Monday, the reading we did Monday, and the Fortune Friday reading from last week, for more information on that. But this is a time to really go within, physically and literally, okay, and spiritually, to get your shit together and to figure out how you need to move forward. Life is already showing a lot of y'all that it's time to withdraw. You losing people, you losing relationships, your money fucked up, life is fucked up, things is fucked up right now. Some of y'all being pushed to be in a motherfucking house. You already don't feel like going nowhere. You already don't feel like being around people. All of that is for a reason. Anytime you feel the need to be reclused and to back away from people and to spend time by your motherfucking self, it's for a fucking reason. Tune in. Talk to yourself. And when I say talk to yourself, I don't just mean be in a room with yourself and go over arguments. No, I mean talk to yourself. Girl, why the fuck do you act like that? Look yourself in the mirror. That's how you do shadow work. Y'all like to do that nice ass, like we Caucasian. We is not Caucasian. We is black. You gotta be aggressive with yourself. Can you just tell a black baby to sit down? No, you gotta say, sit the fuck down before I beat your ass. You gotta be aggressive with yourself sometimes so you can really nip shit in the bud. Stop trying to be motherfucking Dr. Phil. We don't need no Dr. Phil. We need Iyanla Van Zandt energy. Okay? Period. Look yourself in the motherfucking mirror and be like, why the fuck do you act like that? What the fuck is your problem? Why can't you be by yourself? Why do you not trust nobody? Why do you have an attitude all the motherfucking time? Why are you so angry? Look yourself in your own eyeballs and ask yourself some fucking questions. It's called mirror meditation or mirror shadow work. Get it done. Stop being fucking lazy. Because this is the thing. Once it's the motherfucking full moon like tomorrow, all you bitches and niggas come out the woodwork trying to act spiritual. Once y'all hear we got an 888 portal, then all of a sudden, you know your ancestors and your ancestors know you, and you be doing this shit all the time. That's why shit don't work for y'all. When y'all manifest under these new moons and full moons and these fucking portals and these energetic cycles, because you're trying to use and manipulate spirit, and you can't do that. You cannot do that. It's not going to work. That's why shit don't manifest. It's not going to manifest because you are manipulating spirit, like spirit a bitch or something. Like your ancestors don't know that you only use them when you need something. Some of y'all can't even open your mouths and have gratitude when you wake the fuck up in the rising. You already opening your mouth asking for some shit. And then don't want to do no work to get it. That's why y'all don't receive a fuck ass thing. Because what you're putting in and what you're expecting to get out don't match. And until that shit get on the same page, things are going to continue to happen for you in a way that you don't want it to happen for you. You're going to keep receiving the things that you don't want or the things that you've been getting instead of new shit. The goal is to always have new experiences and receive new things. That's the goal. That's how you know you're doing the shit right. When everything around you get new and you feel like the new kid in school, that's when you're doing what you're supposed to fucking do. That's when life is moving good for you. That's when you are in perfect alignment and position. When everything around you looks foreign. Period. If you woke up tomorrow with $1 million in your bank account, wouldn't your whole environment change? Okay, then. So act like you already got the millions and change your environment already so that the millions can come. That's what y'all don't understand. You have to prepare the environment for what you're manifesting. You can't just manifest and think that the manifestation is going to come and prepare the environment for you. That's not how that works. You got to create a space that is conducive for whatever you're trying to manifest. So why do I think I'm going to bring in some new shit into a bullshit ass, toxic ass environment? Why do I think I'm going to have a beautiful relationship with a toxic ass motherfucker? The environment and what I'm expecting don't match. Period. Okay? So light love. Again, I hope that y'all got something from this. Definitely go back and watch the intuition video from last Wednesday, as well as the toxic parents video from yesterday. Both of those will be very helpful, as well as the message Mondays. If you want any readings, it was a lot of insight that was given on Monday that ties into this, as well as the Fortune Friday that we had last week ties into this as well. But this is a time to really start to go inward and do your shadow work. It's about to be cold outside anyway for a lot of us. If you're on the East Coast or in the Midwest, it's about to get cold. So we got time to be in the house, to chill out, and to work on ourselves. Utilize this time wisely, because after this season, we go back into the new season, which is the spring equinox, which is the actual new year in March. So we got a couple months of downtime for us to really get shit together. Right now, we're in the beginning of the harvest season. So between this month, October, and November are going to be the seasons of harvest. Okay? So for those who've been doing their work, expect good things to come in the next 3 months. If you ain't been doing shit, then this is your time to get to work. Okay, once we get into December, January, and February, that's when we really get into that reclusive, hermetic energy, when we kind of tune in and, really get to ourselves. But for a lot of y'all, it's starting early because you need it now. You need it now, okay? And sometimes our higher self will pull us away from life. You may think you're depressed because you don't want to go outside. You're not depressed. Your higher self is making you stay the fuck inside so you can get to work. Period. Ain't nothing wrong with you, but it's time to get to work. So use this time wisely, okay? If you are interested in getting any mentorships, consultations, anything of that nature, I do have a lot of services and specials that I have right now: mentoring specials, therapy specials, and consultation specials that are going right now for those who need it. If it's time for you to tap in and get the help that you need, then let's do it. Even if you do not work with me, I really want you guys to go get assistance, whether that's therapy, whether that's talking to another life coach or spiritual advisor, or whatever the case is. Go get the help you need. Even if you want to do the shit by yourself, do it by yourself. Who cares? Get it done. Okay. However you need to get it done, just get it done. That's the whole goal. I'm also doing reading specials, 8-card reading specials. These are the topics that I have right now. If you are interested, you can either email me at the email below, or you can inbox me on any of my socials, and I can send you the information for the readings. My website, again, is currently down and will be for a little while. I'm doing a lot of rebranding right now. So the best way to contact me, again, is through my email or my social media. Either way, we will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, or around the same time, same place for sure. And we're going to get into these full moon messages for tomorrow. It is a full moon tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and do we do our Fortune Fridays anyway, where we pull cards, but the theme and the theme will be for the full moon. Okay. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. So definitely make sure that you tune in for that. Again, if you're watching from YouTube, definitely make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know whenever I go live. Also, there are memberships now available on YouTube. I will be doing some members only lives, some members only readings. You will also get access to any videos that I post before anybody else does. You will get notified when I go live before anybody else does, and a couple of other perks that I'm working on as well. So definitely join if you are interested. If you're watching from Facebook, thank you for tuning in. Definitely send a reaction, like and share this video with anyone or any groups that you feel like can use these messages. This has been a very, very helpful, I think, in my opinion, topic that we, kind of went over today and yesterday. The two kind of intertwine a lot. So definitely check that out. But if you are being called to do your work right now, please do it. Don't ignore the call, because you never know what you are standing in between. You could be standing in between your life completely changing, all because you want to stay comfortable. Okay, you being uncomfortable for a week or two can change your whole life. You never know what you are standing in between of. Okay, so love and light. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.